Welcome back to my channel. So today I have a topic for you which is a most common problem seen in people. So this is called as allergic rhinitis. So let me give you some details about this condition. So this allergic rhinitis is also called as hay fever. So this is mainly because of allergic reactions that happens in you, because of which you will have cold-like symptoms. So tiny particles or allergens might lead to these issues, so which leads to complications like sneezing, nasal congestion, irritation of nose, throat, mouth, eyes, etc. So basically this is caused because your body reacts to this and your immune system becomes active and it releases certain natural chemicals such as histamine, which leads to these issues. So these allergens can be both indoor or outdoor. And when it comes to allergens, the common ones are dust mites, mold, dander, pollens from the trees, plants. And basically one thing which we need to remember is this allergic rhinitis or hay fever is not contagious. That means you cannot spread it from one person to the other. So the next person who is there next to you may not have the symptoms because you are having it. But when it comes to cold, we know that we can transmit it to the next person. So that is the main difference between allergic rhinitis and cold, that is common cold. So coming to the main allergens, so as I told you, the pollens, dust, all these are main reasons. So it may not be same for all. So one of you might be allergic to the pollens, somebody else might be allergic to dust, but all these are finally leading to this problem of allergic rhinitis. So even the saliva or waste of cockroaches also can be an allergen to some people. So based on that, there are different allergens which can cause this problem. So coming to even pet fur, that can lead to this kind of problems in some people. So when it comes to hay fever, the main signs and symptoms are runny nose with watery discharge. But in this case, there is no fever. But when you compare that with common cold, here also the symptoms might be almost similar, but you will have a thick yellow discharge, not much watery, and you can have even body aches and you will have low grade fever too, in some cases. But when it comes to hay fever, your onset of symptoms will be immediate. So once you get exposed to this allergen, whatever is the allergen, you will get these symptoms immediately. But when it comes to common cold, it takes some days of exposure. So 2 to 3 days it might take for the symptoms to be seen. And the duration of hay fever is as long as you're exposed to this allergen, the symptoms will continue, and once the allergen is gone, the symptoms are gone. But the common cold, you will have the symptoms for 3 to 7 days depending upon the intensity of the symptoms there. So when do people usually get hay fever? So I told you already, it can be seasonal or it can be perennial. Okay, so if it is perennial, it can happen around the year. But if it is seasonal, during certain seasons when these pollens are released, or in that way you can develop these kind of allergic rhinitis. And apart from that, if you are having pets at home, that pet fur and other things can lead to these kind of issues. So how common is this? So this is really very common, especially if you see some statistics, US alone, okay, 15 to 20% of the population have got this allergic rhinitis symptoms, and millions of children and adults are having this every year. So you can see how common is this. So we need to understand this and see how we can try to avoid this. So it can even be inherited, it can pass from families, and people who are having asthma, those kind of symptoms, they are more prone to these kind of allergic rhinitis. So coming to the symptoms, basically you will have nasal stuffiness or congestion. Apart from that, you can have runny nose, you can have sneezing, so continuous sneezing can happen. You will have a itchy nose, your throat also starts itching, you start watering, your eyes starts watering, you will have headache, sinus. So many symptoms which are common to common cold can be seen in this condition. So apart from that, you can have wheezing problems, you can have fatigue, you can have coughing issues, you can have breathing trouble because of the congestion. So in this way, a lot of symptoms can be seen, and this usually most of the time it can be aggravated during the night time, and that can lead to a lot of complications. So when you can see a doctor, so specialists for this are usually allergists or immunologists. So these are the specialist doctor who can give more guidance for you in this particular problem. And basically they might give you some anti-allergic kind of medication, and in case of asthma and all, they might give much more required medicines for you so that you can come out from these issues. So what is the basic mechanism of this allergen attacking your body? So let me give you some insights on that. So basically the allergen, okay, which is in the air, will enter your body. So it will enter through the route of inhalation maybe. So once you inhale this, your activation of immune system happens. So each one of us have got an immune system in our body, which is the defense mechanism, so that in case there is any allergen or any contaminant, your body fights against it. So this starts producing a immune system or immune response in your body, and during this mechanism, the immune cells, they produce some chemical called as histamine, and this histamine is spread in the bloodstream. So this histamine will in turn lead to the inflammation of the mucous membrane of the nose. So in the nose we have a mucous membrane, and even in the eyes and in the throat region also we have this. So this will lead to inflammation of that area, so that further pollen or further allergen does not enter your system, so that the issues of that cold and whatever symptoms that can be stopped to some extent. So this is how we can show that. So early phase, whatever is the pollen, whether it is the dust mite, whether it is pollen grains, or it is a fur of the animal, so these will act as allergens, which will be taken up by the immune cells. So once it is taken up by your immune cells, it activates a series of immune cells in your body, like T cells, B cells, and it starts producing antibodies against this particular antigen. So allergen specific IgE, basically in this case IgE production happens, and this is specific to that allergen now. So now your body knows that this particular thing is allergen for you, and it is already producing antibodies against that particular antigen. Apart from that, it will even release histamine. And once you're getting exposed to this again and again, this active immune cells become much more active, and that is why you will have this nasal blockage and other things, so that the cells have already identified this and immune system is active and histamines are released, and finally nasal blockage is seen, so that no further allergen enters your body. So it is a way of combating it actually, but it can lead to other issues to you because of this main mechanism. So coming to can allergic rhinitis be prevented or avoided? It cannot be completely prevented, but there are certain things you can do to avoid the symptoms to a greater level. So keeping windows closed, especially if you are allergic to pollen grains, if you can keep your windows closed, especially during those seasons where these pollen grains are released, that can be of some help. So washing your hands regularly if you are having pets at home, because the pet's fur can lead to these issues. So you can keep your yourself safe in that way. And wearing glasses when you're going outside to protect yourself from dust. So some people are allergic to dust. So if dust is leading to these issues, you can wear glasses. And in that way you can even try to shower before bed to wash off the allergens from the hair and skin. So in this way, some precautions that you can take can be helpful. Even if you can use certain dust or mite proof bedding and mattress covers, that can be of some help. So in this way you can try to avoid or prevent this allergic rhinitis to some extent. So basically how this can be diagnosed. So healthcare providers, that is immunologists or allergists, they basically do the allergy test. Okay, blood allergy test is usually done, and during this blood test they find out the IgE levels in you. So I told you, when you have this kind of allergic rhinitis symptoms, the IgE levels, the antibody IgE level in you will be much higher. So when they compare these levels with the normal levels which are there, they get to know if you are allergic to something. So once they get to know that your IgE levels are higher than the normal levels, they get to know you are allergic, but they will not know to what you are allergic to. So for that they will do one more test called as the skin prick test. So this is to show you the skin prick test. So here what they do is they take different allergens. So they will have a series of allergens with them, which they know that it can lead to these kind of allergic rhinitis symptoms. So they will prick that to you, and they will wait for some time and see if there is any raised thing in you. So this is the inflammation seen after one of the allergen has been pricked into the skin of the person. So once you have a inflammation here, that is the confirmation that you are allergic to that particular allergen. So in case you have multiple allergies, like you are allergic to pet fur, you are allergic to dust, you are allergic to pollen. So if all that is there, when all these are pricked to you, everywhere you will see a inflammation. So your immune system becomes active, the mechanism that I showed you. So that is how it leads to inflammation because of the chemical that is released called as histamine. So in this way, multiple things you will may be allergic or single thing that you can get to know using this skin prick test. So this will be very useful for the specialist to analyze that you are allergic to this particular thing, and they can suggest you how you can try to avoid that particular allergen so that the symptoms of rhinitis can be made less. So coming to medications, there are a lot of medications available, like nasal corticosteroids are available, antihistamine tablets are available, pills are available, drops are available, decongestants are available. So based on the requirement, some of these might be suggested by the experts. Even oral corticosteroids are available, even the something like tablets or the nasal that you put in drops. So in this way, different types of medications are available which can be suggested by experts. So coming to other treatments, even immunotherapy, allergic shots are available. So this can also help to some extent. So this becomes a desensitization therapy. So we all know the importance of vaccine now. So similar way, these allergic shots will act as vaccines. So they will make your system ready for this so that in future, if you are coming across this, you will not have much more symptoms compared to the initial screening. So in that way, when you give this kind of immunotherapy shots, your body is recognizing this already. It is creating these IgE cells and it is making it ready for this, so that in case in future you're coming up with the same allergen, you will not have such complicated symptoms. So in this way, allergic shots or immunotherapy also can work, and these shots will definitely act like vaccines. So coming to herbal medicines, we have different herbal medicines which can be useful. One is Himalaya Bressol. They have a tablet called as Himalaya Bressol, which is a polyherbal formulation which can be useful for asthma also, plus it can be useful for allergic rhinitis also. So the key ingredients in these are turmeric, basil and vasaka. Apart from that, even Kapiva has a product which is an anti-allergic product of curcumin and giloy. So giloy is nothing but guduchi. So this is a Ayurvedic medicinal property it has got, and it is anti-inflammatory also. So how to use this? They have made capsules out of this, which can be taken one per day as directed by the physician. So the capsules are not very expensive. It costs just 495 rupees for 60 capsules. So in this way, there are a lot of herbal medicines also available, and by taking this also you can try to avoid or reduce the symptoms of allergic rhinitis. So coming to the takeaway messages, we definitely know that we need to identify these allergens first. So once you identify it, you can think of how we will try to avoid these allergens. So it's better you see to it that you avoid these triggers, because if triggers are coming up, again you can have the symptoms. And certain times if you're allergic to dust, you can have this basically in air filters, okay, basically air conditioners, the filters, if they are not clean and dust is coming, it can lead to these issues. So cleaning this air conditioner filters regularly will be very useful, and allergic grade filters can be installed at home so that these pollens and other things are not coming up into your houses. And the pets, if you are having, please see to it that you wash your hands regularly so that this pet fur and other things are not leading to issues to you. And if you are seeing that pollution is leading to these problems, you can have mask when you're going outside, when you're entering a highly polluted area, because certain times they have seen that these pollutants such as nitrous oxides and ozone, these can attack the pollen grains. So once they attack the pollen grains, they can burst these pollen grains. And we know that pollens, most of them are allergic to pollens, which can lead to these allergic rhinitis symptoms. So in this way, pollution also can lead to this or aggravate this symptoms. So you can see to it that you avoid going into these areas for longer, or see to it that you cover your face properly with mask so that you do not get to these contaminants. So definitely we need to stay vigilant and stay safe. So thank you for watching. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe to my channel and please share this video with maximum people so that if anybody is suffering from this allergic rhinitis, this video might be of some help to them so that they can identify what they are allergic to and see how they can come out from this particular situation. Thank you.